You can't say that. School, their kids are going back to school.
But this is a Pokemon, which they'll like, inspired backpack.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Pokemon's taking over the world.
It really is.
I mean, come on. And it took over the Home and Family set a couple of weeks ago. Our incredible props department, this is what really gave me the idea. Look at this.
So
Look
cute.
at this. So they created this awesome game that you guys all played and did very well, might I add.
We did our own Pokemon Go.
Yes, situation with all of those characters. And so this is really fun, and this is kind of taking over. And definitely as we come into back to school, this is probably the most popular thing out there right now that everyone's and kids are talking about.
You'll be the coolest kid in school with this, for sure.
And what I really like is that, I tried to come up with a few different versions. And the first one that we did here is just the classic backpack, right? Everyone's going to need their regular backpack, large, structured, comfortable shoulders, something they can actually use. And I had the idea of creating the Pokeball, which is like the central feature, right? That's how you actually catch all the Pokies as you throw the Pokies.
I definitely said that wrong. I believe they're Pokas. You know what's so interesting about this?
Every
single man on this set, whether they are 50 or 15, has played Pokemon Go, and do not lie, you're all behind the cameras.
And
They're the inspiration for this.
Tara in props, who hand drew all of those Pokemon's she as well. So anyway, we thought that the Pokeball would be a really cool place to start, and by doing it on a white backpack, half of the work is already done for us because it's white and red.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to take a look here. This is how I got started on it earlier today, and there was a little bit of a learning curve, which I will explain. So first thing I did was take some painter's tape just to create my straight line all the way across the backpack. I knew I was going to hand paint it, but I just wanted to give myself a guide so that I knew I was straight all the way across. The tape itself didn't really hold all that well. Originally, I was planning on painting it with the tape on, but it didn't really hold. So I decided to just draw it and free paint. Now, when you're doing the larger section, go in with a big paintbrush and just go in there as fast as you can. Then when you get to the edges, go in with a smaller paintbrush and kind of clean it all up. The next thing was creating that circle in the center. I thought that would be the right size, and then I looked back on my photo and I realized the circle is supposed to eat into a little bit of the red and a little bit of the white. So I went back in with a larger thing to trace it, and I knew that I could cover up the red with black paint, so I was fine. So then I went around and around, and you just want to make it as even as you can. What I realized was gaffer's tape, which is super, super strong, allowed me to create nice, clean lines after the fact. So I was able to go in after, and I only did it there on the bottom. Then I went back in and did it on the top, and you can see I went all the way around, so I was able to do the entire thing. The last thing I did was just take this, which is a silver fabric paint, and I did the little ball in the center. Yeah, the eye, right in the center with a silver paint there. Now, a couple of things. What I did learn is that I would have been smarter to prep the fabric in some way, just like you prep a canvas when you paint, because the fabric paint didn't really want to stick on it at first, so I really had to smush it in, which made it very hard to get clean lines. If you prep it at first, this is canvas, right? This kind of backpack is, so if you prep it first, then you can glide on and have it's like a primer. Like a primer. Sorry, like a primer of some sort that you can put on first. Then your paint really glides on. So just a little something I learned after I finished it.
Now, what about, because backpacks get really dirty.
Yes.
So can you wash that, or is it going to all come out on the washing machine?
You can wash it. So there's two things I would recommend. First is spot clean it whenever possible. If you can spot clean it and just get in there and clean it, do that. If not, you're always going to want to heat set. Anytime you use fabric paint, you want to heat set. This would be a little difficult to heat set with an iron just because of the structure of it. That's just awkward. Throw it in the dryer. Highest setting, throw it in the dryer for 10, 15 minutes. That heat in there will help fuse the paint into the fibers, and it'll be much more resistant to washing, but then you can go ahead and wash it just like anything else.
Cool. Okay.
Now
this
we're on
is my favorite.
Yes. Okay. Do you see that little one over there? These little characters, they are so adorable. The key to this is these right here. These are called quick fuse fabric sheets. This is actually paper that can go through your printer, but it's fabric. So this is it. It looks just like regular paper.
Is that fabric?
Yeah, it's fabric.
Isn't that cool? But wait, it gets better, Mark.
It gets better.
The rest.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. On the back side, this is an iron-on transfer.
Do you remember iron-ons? Do you remember them when we were young?
Remember them?
What kind of shirt
I dream
did you
about
have?
them.
I had the most amazing Michael Jackson Thriller iron-on that I wore so much and we washed it so much that his face started to peel off, but I did not want to give that shirt away.
That's a joke, though.
I wish I still had that shirt. And now look, if we could find a Michael Jackson picture, I can do another shirt.
You can make your very own. I'll make you that shirt for your birthday.
Way out the Pokemon.
Okay, so here's our little Pikachu. He's so adorable. We printed him onto the paper and just cut it out nice and clean. And now we're going to center this on. You can do multiples if you want. Always follow the directions on the fabric that you choose. This said to go onto a cotton setting, like a very hot setting, for about 10 to 15 seconds. I always recommend going for a second and looking. Make sure you're not on too hot of a setting.
At your Pikachu? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
You want to peek. You're going to want to peek at the Pikachu.
You don't want to burn the Pikachu.
No.
Don't burn the Pikachu.
You don't want to.
Let's peek.
And so what we're going to do is go through here, and about 10 to 15 seconds is going to fully make it iron on, but in the beginning you just want to make sure everything's in place, which it is. You can see just 5 seconds it's already on there. And now you just complete it and just keep going. And right here on the back it has the directions, and that's one of the great things about products like this is it will tell you how to care for it.
Yep.
So this says that you're going to want to make sure to adhere it onto your fabric before you wash it. So you don't want to pre-wash this at all. And then you want to wash it by hand in cold water. And you really just want to use fabric softener, not detergent. So it will always tell you how to care for it.
Exactly. Clearly, I didn't have those instructions, and Michael Jackson.
Yes,
Clearly.
Yes, clearly.
But these are great.
And you overlaid those too. You can put them over top.
Yes, and I think that's actually one way of doing it that's really cool is these multiple characters. You know, it's sort of more reminiscent of the game because you're hunting down for multiple characters.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of have them like jumping and bouncing, and it's really fun. It's like a little gym bag.